Welcome to the Been There Doing That podcast. I'm Robert Scrivener.
And I'm Gayla Scrivener.
We left the 9-to-5 grind, downsized, and our goal is to have freedom to live and to work from just about anywhere.
Well, hello there.
Are you ready for this?
I think I am. It's been a long time. Long
Has.
time since we've recorded a Been There Doing That podcast.
And where are we now?
We're doing something new.
What are we doing?
Our studio is a little different this time.
It's mobile,
It is mobile,
and we're moving right now.
hence the word mobile.
Yeah, I'm going down the highway.
So we are recording this podcast going down the highway. Robert's driving, and he does not have earphones on, but
Nope.
I do. So I have control.
You're the monitor.
I'm the monitor, and we're driving down the road and using our little Zoom recorder, and so you may hear some
Strange noises from the back from the dogs.
yes, I don't think you'll hear the road noise, but you might. But it's the ambiance.
Yeah, it's like you're in the car with us.
Well, it's Been There Doing That. We can do this anywhere, right? Well, almost anywhere.
Yeah, almost anywhere.
I want to just interject here with a different story.
Go for it.
Years and years and years ago, one of my very first jobs in the real world was at an ophthalmology office out in California.
Yeah.
And I was 19. I was hired to file charts and stuff like that. But back then, doctors used little recorders, the little dictaphones with the cassette tapes.
Yeah.
He would record when he was in his bathroom.
Oh, no.
And the poor transcriptionist, which was right there in
Had to
our
listen to
office,
it?
yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, he's going to the bathroom while he's recording. And
Well,
then
there's a
he's
story
giving me
for ya.
these tapes. So that has been burned in my brain.
There's a story for you.
Yes. Oh, the things. Well, we got through the holidays.
We made it. We survived.
We did, and we have started a new year, started a new decade, so we've got a lot of cool things coming up in the future.
Yeah. They're on
Yeah.
the horizon.
They're on the horizon, but let's do a little recap of our most recent trips, which mainly has
Mhm.
been, I don't think we've recorded. You think we've recorded, but
Well, I thought
no.
we did, but then again, I was not right.
You were
I'm
mistaken.
not saying I was wrong, but I was not right.
Well, our last trip was to Indiana, to Conner Prairie. And you were thinking that we had recorded a podcast about that, but it was really for the Gayla Scrivener show.
And
So if
I
you want to
remember.
listen to that podcast, I'll put a link in the show notes. But tell us about Conner Prairie.
Conner Prairie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
What is it?
Well, I have to dig way back because it's been a little while. But it is if I remember correctly, an old-timey setup of way stuff was back 1800s to Civil War-ish. And they had interactive buildings, people dressed up in period costume and stuff like that. Could interact with them and talk the way they did back then.
Yeah, I liked that they stayed in character.
Yep, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Would you call it a living museum?
Hey, yes.
I would call it that.
Living History Museum.
And you took classes from Mr.
They-
Ken Scott.
They had workshops going on there in October. They have workshops throughout the year, but I signed up for the sheath making for knives and accoutrements and bag making, leather pouch, hunting pouch making with Ken Scott.
Yes, he is like big to do in the bag making.
It's like what I say, hunting pouch royalty.
Yes,
That's what it was.
you met in person several members of the CLA? What's that
Yes,
stand
there's
for?
Contemporary Long Rifles Association,
Which you're a member now?
which I've been a member now for
A
a
year?
little while, well, a little over a year.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of your thing. That's in the horizon. You have figured out something that you just really, really like.
Yeah, leather hunting pouch making. That's kind of what I do now.
That's your thing.
I believe so.
You're selling them. People are interested in them, and you, it's all hand sewn, hand aged.
Yeah, hand dyed,
It's a
hand cut.
beautiful artwork.
It's different.
I love it. I have my choice of purses.
Yeah, you've got 20 different purses to choose from.
So any of these leather purses that I'm carrying around for show, they are for sale.
Yeah.
So if you come up by us and you're interested in that, there's a price tag on
Yeah.
those. I try them. I try them so that make sure that they work.
I'm just doing what Eddie Rector told me, which is another fine leather hunting pouch maker
And musician.
and musician too. And he said, just make what you like.
And that you do.
And so I'm doing what I like.
Then that was a really nice trip. We took a rental car, we stayed in a hotel. It was a trip of I stay in the hotel, work, you go to the workshops and work, and then we played around and toured around
Yeah, we went over
Indianapolis. Isn't that where it was?
Indianapolis,
Mhm.
actually just outside Indianapolis. Fishers, Indiana is where it's at.
It was,
Northeast side.
and that was our last trip before the holidays.
That was our last big one, yeah.
Yeah. And nothing too special, but we just thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was special.
I guess it wasn't overlanding and
No.
camping, but it was special. You're right.
Yeah.
Are you reaching back to the kiddos?
Yeah. Got one that just likes to lick everything.
lick. Well, we've got some big things that's going on. And we just passed a state trooper, didn't
Yeah,
we?
Missouri State Trooper. He was probably looking at us funny. What?
Well, you don't
Headphones?
have headphones.
I don't have headphones
But you
on.
did put down your microphone.
Yeah.
I have headphones, but as
Holding
a
a
passenger,
microphone going down the road, that's just something you don't see every day.
that's just not natural.
What else you got on your list
Well, we've got
since it's been a while?
I've decided, we've done a lot of work with our business, Scrivener Solutions, and we are shifting the business model a little bit,
Okay.
which means that instead of us doing face-to-face or individual client work, we're not taking any more clients. Our team is, and we are doing more online coaching and online products, teaching products, and changing the business model completely. But anyway, we're changing things up. Scrivener Solutions taking a lot of work on that. But the biggest change that we've decided to kind of make, not necessarily a lifestyle change, but we've set out a goal for ourselves this year. And what is that big goal?
Make more money?
Well, yes. I was thinking that you would say we're going to get rid of something.
Oh, we're going to get rid of the RV. That's right, folks. The recreational vehicle.
That we've been living in since
2010?
I thought
Or 11.
2010.
2011.
Yeah. Does that mean that we're not going to be been there doing that anymore?
No.
No, it's just transitioning. It's time to sell the Alpha Sia.
Yep.
And the first step that we need to do is like move out of it. Who's going to want it when we've
It's
got
hard to sell it when you're living in it full time.
It is. So we are making the steps of moving out of the RV. We have, I'd call it temporary housing.
Yeah.
We're going to be
It's
living
not full time.
It's not full time, but we needed a place to put our stuff, and in that place that we're putting the stuff is helping the other people out because we're helping them convert that house to rental property.
Exactly.
Kind of do some repair work and not have the house vacant, but I guess we'll be their first renters and
Yeah.
kind of improve
Tenants.
upon it. Yeah.
Trial period.
So that's working out beautifully. That's just started in the works. And we're moving toward, you've raised the question or raised the want to of selling the RV at least a couple of years ago.
Yes. I was ready.
I was apprehensive because I need a home base. I don't want to live out of the Jeep.
You need a home base.
Well, you do too.
Well, I suppose.
Where are you going to put all the stuff?
Downsize.
We have downsized, but now that you want to do leather full time,
It's hard to downsize.
With you discovering that you like to do leather full time.
Yeah, it's hard to have a space to do that.
In the Jeep, and 3 dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
And
you got a point.
All right, so we need a home base, and I would like a home base of a little cabin in the woods.
Say that again.
Little cabin in the woods.
That's what I thought you said.
What is yours?
You had the words right directly to my heart.
Okay, so we're on the same page there. That's good.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad that we're not discovering things before we record this podcast. It's like, that's
good.
something. That new home base, I can't even think about details of that. We're looking around at different properties, looking around at different styles of cabins and stuff like that. But I can't even think about that until the RV's gone.
Yeah, it needs to be GONE.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that because as we're looking at our temporary housing, that gives us a great idea of how we want the leather crafting studio, the work office, which would be a studio for video editing, audio editing, just work in general. We have
Photography.
in your photography, you're going to be doing more film photography because you'll have more room to develop and...
Yeah, I ain't going to say nothing, but I just bought a 40-inch television monitor for the computer yesterday.
What?
Yeah, even though we don't have the cabin in the woods yet.
We don't.
But I'm thinking computer monitors.
Well, our daughter had texted me just the other day with a picture of her TV and says, you want it? We're upgrading. And it's a 40-inch TV.
So you got a 40-inch television monitor.
And then I have I've been using a 32-inch, and you've been using a 24.
Yeah, so I got a big upgrade.
Wow. And then in the temporary housing, I don't know how big that TV is that I've been using for a monitor. I don't know, 56? Something.
No, it's, I think 44. 44, 48.
By the time we travel and then have to look at just one little tiny laptop monitor, we're going to be...
spoiled.
Oh, my.
Go to the library in some remote place and sit down and look at a little 15.6-inch monitor.
Yeah.
Maybe 15.8, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's better than my 13-inch monitor I had.
Yeah. Or a little tablet or a phone.
I still like my phone.
I know.
I'd rather use it than a big computer.
Than the tablet.
Or a tablet, yeah. Not a tablet kind of person.
So we've announced kind of our big plans, but this year, let me say that this is working up to, we sell the RV, we have temporary housing, we find our cabin in the woods, we have more room to build out our next overlanding vehicle. Because in the long-term plan, we've got our eyes focused on the Pacific Northwest and up into Alaska.
Yeah.
Like a big trip.
That's was a 5-year plan 2 years ago, so now we're down to 3.
It's coming down to the wire, so we need to make movement on making things happen.
It's getting close.
So we're keeping our eyes peeled on the next overlanding vehicle, but that's kind of phase 3.
Sure. How many phase part?
4.
What's the 4th phase?
Build out and leave. I don't
And
know.
leave. Wouldn't that be 2?
That may be. I don't know. But we need an overlanding vehicle where it's a little more roomier.
Somewhere where you can stand up inside, somewhere you can cook inside and work inside.
Take the dogs,
And take the dogs.
but not an RV like
That is
we
not an
have.
RV. That is still 4-wheel drive. That can go on some trails. Maybe not like the Jeep could, but still get remote enough to,
Make us happy.
make us happy.
Which
Which is all is what it's about anyway, is making us
Exactly.
happy.
Well, life is meant to live happily, you know?
Yeah. If you
Life's
ain't
too
hap-
short to be
If
miserable.
you ain't happy, you need to start moving your feet and get there.
You know, that's one of the first things I said to you when we first met.
Yeah.
Life's too short to be miserable, so
Yeah,
if
it
you
wasn't
make me
exactly
miserable,
what I said.
if you make me miserable, then
I'm walking.
oh, we just celebrated our 15th New Year's Eve, and you played that night,
Yeah, I
just
usually
like
work.
the very first.
Yes, just like I usually work New Year's Eve.
The last few years you haven't,
Nah,
because if you're going to go out on New Year's Eve,
it better be worth my time. It's double time at least.
at least, and with the people that you want to play with and the audience that you want to be around. So you're picky in your
Yeah,
old age.
I'm getting picky in my old age.
All right. Well, in
Moving
the
along.
In the short term, our plans for this year's trips. We've got one fairly big trip, and it's going to be in the Jeep with the rooftop
Yeah.
tent. And that's going to be around, isn't that May? August.
You were close.
Overland Expo has added a show in Colorado this year.
Loveland, Colorado.
Our daughter and son-in-law live right outside of Denver, and we thought we would
Surprise, we're here.
do that. We applied for volunteers to the Overland Expo Mountain, and
We'll see.
we'll see if we get that, but that's what we'll do. And I think we're going to take about a 3-week, because
That's close to a month.
after Overland Expo, there is another show, a Mountain Man show somewhere. trade fair.
Yes.
In Wyoming, I want to say.
Pinedale, Wyoming. I believe it's the Bridger Rendezvous.
And that is one of the biggest, isn't it?
Yes. It's they got Museum of the Mountain Man out there. I'd like to go visit.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do that all in one trip. That's our big trip for the year. Otherwise, we are taking a ton of smaller trips
Like
that revolve mainly around your mountain man and leatherwork activities.
yeah.
We're going to Kentucky. You're going to show at the CLA
That's the plan
show.
in October.
There is a show coming up, I want to say April, that you're going to be showing at.
April 25th.
And where's that at?
Richland,
Missouri.
Missouri.
And then that's not very far away, but then there's, I don't know, we've hopped in the car and hopped
Kearney,
over
Nebraska.
to. Yes, that's in January.
Yeah.
And we're hopping to see our daughter and son-in-law and delivering them a puppy in Colorado.
This coming weekend.
Yes. By the time that people listen to this, we would
It'd be the last weekend.
we would be in Colorado.
We'd already been there.
Yeah. But even though our trips are, we'll have one, I'd call it an overlanding trip once this year, we are enjoying a new, not high miles, what do you call it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mile, this vehicle that we're in.
Smiles per gallon?
Miles per gallon's a lot more.
We've upgraded.
We have upgraded. We got rid of the Subaru.
No more Subaru Outback Legacy.
No.
or Legacy Outback, however you want to put it. That's what it was.
And we moved into a VW Passat,
The people's car.
a diesel.
A diesel 2014 Volkswagen Passat TDI SEL. All them acronyms things.
This, to me, is like the business car, the company car, because if I need to go to a client meeting, which I don't, most of that's done on a Zoom call, but mainly is it fits all your music equipment
Very well.
and it
It's
gets
roomy.
excellent fuel mileage. You can't say gas
No,
mileage.
it's
fuel.
a diesel. A diesel.
And last year you had traveled, I want to say over 59 times, an hour and a half
53
away.
times back and forth.
Just to the Lake of the
Ozarks.
Ozarks. That's not counting Springfield.
100 miles each way.
Yeah.
So 200 miles times 53.
And so far we're saving just under $20 per tank.
Every time we fill up.
Yeah.
Getting right around 42 miles to the gallon.
I'm liking it.
Makes
So-
me smile.
You smiles per miles. What did you say?
Makes me smile. Smiles to the gallon.
Smiles to the gallon. Smiles to the gallon. I like that.
More smiles to the gallon.
And I believe that your musical calendar by the end of January
It's going to be filled
is
up.
going to be filled up. And we're going to be on the move a lot, even though it's not going to be in the Jeep.
Yeah.
I think we've got a good plan.
Well, it's on paper anyway.
And we'd love for you listeners,
Y'all.
instead of trying to have this podcast publish weekly or every other week, we have committed to publishing once a month.
At least once a month.
At
You may
least
get a
once-
bonus.
May get a bonus when we're out and traveling, especially if we're going out to Overland Expo, and we may just have a little series there.
A mini-series. Is that how they do that?
They might.
They used to
They
do that
might.
on television back in the 80s.
Yeah, but you're doing a lot more with video, and
I have a couple mini-series
yes.
of our trips.
So be sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Which is called...
Been there doing that.
Right on. You remembered.
And there's always links on our website, which is beentheredoingthat.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope you stay with us this year and are this is the transition year, start of a new decade. It's a brand new
New
year.
year, new decade, same old me.
Yeah. But it's time. It's time to move out of the RV and have our next travel steps. Because just because we're not in an RV on a home on wheels does not mean that our travels have stopped.
No.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Where can people find us, Robert?
BeenThereDoingThat.com.
On Instagram.
Been there doing that.
On YouTube.
Been there doing that.
If someone wants to email us, how do you do that?
Podcast at BeenThereDoingThat.com.
.com.
I was close.
Very good, very good. Well, we're glad you joined us for our first episode of the brand new year, the brand new decade. And until next time,
Bye.